If you've been in a car accident in Georgia, insurance companies are already working against you. They'll try to use every trick in the book claiming you weren't really injured, ignoring damages and pressuring you to accept a lowball offer before you even know what your case is worth. I'm Peter Jaraysi, a personal injury attorney, and I've seen clients lose hundreds of thousands just because they didn't know their rights. But here's the good news. I have 5 proven strategies to maximize your car accident settlement. Be sure to stick around for the last one, as without it you could be leaving big money on the table. Number 1. Seek medical attention immediately. The first and most critical step in maximizing your settlement is seeking medical attention right away. Insurance companies look for any reason to argue that your injuries aren't serious, and one of their favorite tricks is pointing to gaps in treatment. If you wait too long to see a doctor, they'll claim that your injuries must not have been bad enough to justify a higher settlement. Even if you feel fine, hidden injuries like whiplash, internal bleeding, or concussions can take days or even weeks to show up. This one time, I had a client who waited 2 weeks before he saw a doctor because they felt fine. Later, they started experiencing severe back pain. The insurance company tried to argue that their injury must have come from something else since they didn't report the pain right away. And if they'd gone to the doctor immediately, we would have had the documentation to shut down that argument before it even started. So here's a pro tip for you. Always tell your doctor exactly what happened and let them know every symptom, even minor discomfort. Keep copies of every medical report, prescription, and recommended treatment. This creates a clear paper trail for your claim. Follow through with all your treatments. Skipping physical therapy or your other appointments or ignoring doctor's orders will hurt your case, because the insurance company will argue that you're not actually injured because you aren't taking your treatment serious enough. Number 2, understand all the damages that you can claim in your case. Most people only focus on medical bills and car repairs, but a full injury settlement covers a lot more than that. Insurance companies won't tell you this, but you're entitled to compensation for a number of things. The first of those being lost wages. If your injury affects your ability to work, even temporarily, you can claim lost wages. Number 2, future medical care. If your injury requires long-term treatment, future surgeries, or therapy, you can claim that too. Pain and suffering. This includes physical pain, emotional distress, PTSD, or loss of enjoyment of life. That's a big one. Pain and suffering usually makes up the bulk of the value of a case, and that's really where having an attorney to argue your pain and suffering can make a huge difference. Next one is loss of earning capacity. If your injury permanently affects your ability to work in the future, you can claim that the injury itself prevented you from being able to work, and so that the insurance company is entitled to pay you for the difference in your ability to perform the work you're performing before and the work that you have to perform now. Now, there are other types of damages you can claim, but they really depend on the case. One of those case-specific type damages are what's called punitive damages. Punitive damages can be claimed in a case where the other person or company or whoever else is on the other side acted in such a way that rose beyond just the normal level of bare negligence, right? We're talking about a standard of recklessness or carelessness. The purpose of these punitive damages is kind of in the name, right? It's to punish. And so if the other person, for instance, was driving under the influence of alcohol when they caused your injury, or they hit you and then fled the scene, right? They committed a hit and run. In the state of Georgia, you can claim punitive damages against that person because they engaged in conduct that went above the standard of just bare negligence. And that's one you don't want to miss, because if you don't capitalize on it, you're missing out on tons of value. Now, your pro tip for this section: don't just accept what the insurance company offers. Calculate everything you've lost, including missed workdays and emotional suffering. If you're experiencing anxiety, depression, or PTSD due to the accident, mental health treatment is also compensable. Make sure you document it properly. All right, the third strategy. The more documentation you have, generally the higher the payout. Strong documentation equals a stronger case. The more proof you have, the harder it is for the insurance company to lowball you. Here's what you want to document: the accident scene and injury photos. Take high quality pictures of your car, the accident scene, and visible injuries immediately after the crash. Next, you want to document your medical records and treatment plans. Save every hospital visit summary, therapy session, and medical bill. In some cases, I like to tell my clients to keep a personal injury journal. Right? This is a journal where you're keeping a daily log of your pain, your mobility issues, and how the accident has affected your daily life. The problem is these cases take a long time, and over time, people tend to forget the impact that certain things have had on them in the past. And so having this journal can make sure that you are noting down and have a record of every single instance of difficulty that you experienced due to the injuries suffered in the accident. Now here's another pro tip for you. Make sure you request a copy of the police officer's body cam footage. This can be incredibly valuable evidence in your case. We've had situations where liability maybe wasn't clear from the very beginning, but after we got the body cam footage and we saw what the officer saw from his perspective and during their interrogation or interview with the other party, we were able to clear up liability almost instantaneously. And another one here, make sure your medical records specifically connect your injuries to the accident. If your doctor's notes don't mention the accident, insurance adjusters will definitely argue that the injuries were pre-existing and are not related to the crash. All right, strategy number 4, never accept the first offer. If the insurance company is offering you money fast, it's because they know your case is worth more. Now, generally what they're doing with this first offer, and the reason it's generally usually pretty low, is that they're testing to see if you'll accept an easy payout, right? They're testing the waters. If you say yes, you can't go back and ask for more later, even if your injuries get worse. And so adjusters are incentivized to do it every time because on their end, it seems like there's really no repercussion to doing so. And here's the thing, many first offers don't even include compensation for pain and suffering. It's usually just an offer to pay your medical bills and take care of your car repairs. And here's another pro tip for you. My recommendation would be to not accept a settlement before finishing your medical treatment generally, right? You don't know the full extent of your injuries yet, so you really aren't in a position to accept any sort of offer. I would also suggest you ask for a breakdown of the offer. Have them break down all the individual items that they're using to come up with the total offer. Make sure they include damages for pain and suffering, for your medical bills, for future pain and suffering. You want to make sure they're not trying to shortchange you. All right, and number 5, work with a lawyer who knows Georgia law. Hiring a lawyer isn't just about handling the paperwork. It's about leveling the playing field against insurance companies that deal with these cases every day. Here's why having a lawyer makes a huge difference. Oftentimes insurance companies will try to come at you and say, hey, no, you were 10% at fault for this case or 15% at fault, even though in the case you have no real blame to be put on you at all. When it comes to those tricks that insurance companies try to play, lawyers know how to step in and shut it down immediately. The other benefit to having a lawyer on your side is that you have an experienced negotiator. Typically, lawyers are very experienced. They negotiate very aggressively. Their goal is to try to get you as much as possible. And the thing is, most accident victims don't know how much their case is actually worth, and they don't know how to calculate it. Having an attorney there who's negotiated thousands of cases before can help you get the best odds at getting the most value for your case. And finally, insurance companies take cases with attorneys on them more seriously. They know that an attorney will push for the maximum payout, and there's actually a risk behind it, right? An attorney knows how to file a lawsuit, they know how to take a case to court, and they know how to put a case on in front of a jury. And that's the risk that the insurance companies are afraid of. That's what ultimately leads them to put more money on cases with attorneys than for claims that are being handled directly by an injured victim. Now here's the final pro tip. Most consultations are free with personal injury attorneys. There's no downside to getting a second opinion on your case. If an adjuster tells you, oh, no, you don't need an attorney, don't worry, we'll take care of you, it's because they know a lawyer will cost them more money. They're trying to save money. Remember that. All right, so let's recap those 5 strategies. Number 1, make sure you get medical treatment immediately. Delays will hurt your case. Number 2, know that medical bills are just the beginning. Make sure you claim your lost wages, future medical care, pain and suffering, and punitive damages if they apply. Number 3, the more documentation, the stronger your case. Number 4, never accept the first offer. Insurance companies start low on purpose. Number 5, having a lawyer who knows Georgia law can dramatically increase your settlement. I just covered the 5 tips you can use to maximize your car accident injury settlement payout. But what happens when an insurance adjuster calls you? Do you know how to answer their questions without getting trapped? Check out this next video where I cover exactly how to answer an insurance adjuster's questions.